in 40 seconds. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you have a nice day. Welcome back on our station 91.6 UMSU FM Medan, and you can watch me on our YouTube channel UMSU FM Medan. Now I'm already with some delegation from Tamasek Politeknik from Singapore, and also Mem Dewi from Academic Faculty from Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Utara. So I give the warmest welcome to you guys, Zulkarnain, and maybe you can introduce or greet our listener from Mr. Zulkarnain first.
Okay. Hello everyone, Assalamualaikum. We are from Tamasek Politeknik, Singapore. Tamasek Politeknik is one of the 5 polytechnics in Singapore. We have a total of 5 polytechnics. The oldest is Singapore Polytechnic, and then we have Ngee Ann Polytechnic, and then we have Tamasek Polyteknik, Nanyang Polytechnic, and Republic Polytechnic. So all of the different polytechnics are located at different parts in Singapore. Tamasek Polytechnic is in the east.
Okay.
So we're actually quite near to Changi Airport. So in Tamasek Polytechnic, we have a few different schools.
Okay.
For example, we have School of Engineering, we have School of Business, School of IIT, Information and Technology, and then we have School of Humanities and Social Sciences, which we are from. Yeah, and then we have a few other schools as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, maybe ini di sini juga ada teman anak muda Mem Dewi untuk sebagai perwakilan dari Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan dari Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Utara. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Mem.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang.
Teman anak muda.
Temannya.
Iya, teman anak muda. Bagaimana Mem? Hari ini kan kunjungan dari Tamasek Politeknik. Bagaimana Mem melihat kunjungan ini dan maknai kunjungan ini, Mem?
Iya, kami sangat senang sekali kemarin dari Tamasek Politeknik Singapura itu melayangkan permintaan untuk kunjungan ke UMSU, khususnya di Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan, dan terkhusus lagi bagi program studi pendidikan guru sekolah dasar. Karena salah satu ada jurusan dari Tamasek Politeknik ini adalah jurusan pendidikan usia anak muda. Nah, jadi tadi kita mendesain suatu acara talk show bersama dengan mahasiswa prodi PGSD, Pendidikan Guru Sekolah Dasarnya FK UMSU, bersama dengan mahasiswa dari Tamasek. Jadi tadi yang 3 perwakilan yang ada di sini itu tadi berbincang bareng bagaimana pertukaran atau sharing informasi, gimana cara pembelajaran, pengajaran ya yang ada di FK UMSU dan yang ada di Tamasek Politeknik Singapura. Terkhususnya tadi kita menekankan kepada pembelajaran dengan pendekatan cultural responsive teaching, di mana kita nanti mengajarkan kepada calon-calon guru ini dengan pendekatan pengajaran berbasis budaya, local wisdom. Iya, jadi tadi dari mahasiswa PGSD sudah memberikan salah satu contoh permainan tradisional Indonesia itu congklak. Nah, yang tadi permainan Indonesia congklak tadi itu bisa bermanfaat bagi pengajaran matematika dalam hal penjumlahan, pengurangan, perkalian, pembagian. Nah, itu tadi dari congklak. Kemudian tadi pembuatan kue. Nah, ada lagi jadi salah satu kue tradisional itik bangur itu membuatnya. Nah, cara proses pembuatannya itu kita integrasikan pada pembelajaran IPA. Nah, jadi ketika ada proses perubahan benda padat menjadi benda cair. Nah, jadi tadi gurunya itu mempraktekkan dari pembuatan kue agar siswa-siswa itu merasa tertarik gitu ya. Kalau kita belajar sains dengan mengambil contoh sains, it will be boring gitu ya. Student will not interest at all. So, the teacher tried take a food. Jadi one of the traditional food in Indonesia. It will be a sample to explore how gimana kita bisa menyerap bagaimana proses perubahan itu terjadi. Dan juga dari mahasiswa Tamasek juga banyak memberikan contoh-contoh. Mungkin mereka bisa sharing langsung kepada kita semua, kepada anak muda.
Iya, benar sekali. Yomi beralih untuk menyapa teman-teman dari Tamasek Politeknik yang sudah berhadir nih di studio UMSU FM, teman anak muda. Hello guys. Are you guys a little bit nervous or not?
Yes.
Yeah. It's just like a talk show, or we just discuss sharing your experience in here. How long have you been here?
4 days.
4 days.
4 days.
Oh, maybe you can introduce your name.
Oh, okay. Okay, so hi, I'm Maya. I'm a year 1 student studying the Diploma of Early Childhood Development and Education.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Nicole. I'm my second year of studies in psychology studies.
Psychology.
Selamat siang semua, nama saya Nur Maisara. Saya belajar dalam Diploma in Social Sciences in Gerontology.
Okay, so you already in 5 days you're here.
4
days. 4 days. Oh, 4 days. So, what is your favorite food, or what is the most interesting thing that you can find in Medan?
For favorite food, I think saya rasa saya suka miso.
Miso.
Enak banget.
Enak banget. Do you think it's spicy or not?
Kena taruh cili kan?
Iya, benar.
Spicy lagi sedap. Lagi
Spicy
enak.
lebih enak. How about you, Nico?
For me, I think the most memorable experience so
Yes.
far was actually hiking up to the waterfalls.
Oh, so you already visit Lake Toba?
Yes.
Oh, semalam.
It was so fun. And like Singapore, we don't have like such waterfalls. Yeah, we don't have mountains as scenic as the ones that we've seen here.
Yes.
So I think it was like really like amazing experience to like witness and to hike up. Like it was very interesting. Like my first time experiencing something like this. So I think it was very eye-opening, and I think it's something that's very beautiful when you see that. And the weather's very nice. After that. Yeah. So it was a very nice experience. Yeah.
Okay. And how about you, Maya?
We stayed at Taman Simalam Resort, right?
Okay.
I really like the gunung-gunung, is it? The mountains all over the place. As she said earlier, Singapore don't have any mountains, don't have
But we don't have
waterfalls.
lion.
Singapore got lion at zoo. But yeah, we also had sunrise yoga. So we watched the sunrise as we did yoga at the Taman Simalan Resort, and I thought that was probably one of my favorite highlights of the stay. Yes.
Okay. And what is your favorite agenda today? I mean, like maybe you can meet the university student from UMSU. You can sharing with them or something like.
Okay. Something that we are looking forward to later is to exchange the gifts. So we have prepared some souvenirs from Singapore for them to see and I think enjoy for them to bring home later.
For me, I think I was very interested in like looking at different faculty buildings. Like just now, I think we walked past all the different buildings, and like it was very interesting. Yeah, they were huge buildings. Yeah, and they looked very nice. So yeah, I was very interested in seeing like the different buildings, and like when we first reached the university, the front building.
The front
Yeah.
building.
Yeah, the front building.
Oh.
Like,
The
White House?
Yeah, the
Yes,
It's
like
so
the White
beautiful. It's so
Like White
beautiful.
House, yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
very majestic.
kayak ibu.
Yeah, it was very, very beautiful.
Yeah, I agree with both of them. But I think you guys can agree with me also. This is cool. Being being on air is very cool to me. My first time, I'm so happy to be here.
Yes. Maybe Sir Zulkarnain, you can share your experience when you arrive at UMSU, especially.
I think like what I mentioned, like what they mentioned actually, the building is so majestic.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very nice because it is very rare for us to actually, because usually when Singaporeans come to Indonesia, we usually come for holidays and for trips. So it's to be able to enter untuk masuk ke dalam sekolah, universitas dan sebagainya is something that's very rare. Jarang sekali kita dapat lakukan itu. Jadi when we get to enter and we get to see, that is something it's a privilege. Really, it's a privilege. Yeah, and then also the presentation was great as well because I mean I'm an educator myself, so when I get to learn about the different system, the education system in Indonesia, and what UMSU has to offer, I think it's very it's very nice. I feel very optimistic. Yeah, looking at it, I feel very positive looking at the progress. And the future, what the future holds.
Okay. Okay. So, what were your first impression when you arriving at UMSU and engaging with the academic faculty here?
Very nice people. Yeah, and very smiley. And
Okay.
very humble, and we managed to have a lot of exchange, not only about education but also about our lives, where we come from, and because personally I was sharing with them as well that I come from I'm from Singapore, but tapi sebenarnya keturunan saya keturunan Jawa. Saya orang Jawa sebenarnya keturunannya. Tapi because in Singapore, if you are in Javanese or if you are from Bugis, orang-orang Bugis, or you are from Minang, you will all be categorized as Malay.
In Singapore.
Categorized as Malay, and the language that we learn as our mother tongue language is Malay. Bahasa ibunda bahasa Melayu. Tapi so it's very nice to come here and then you have an exchange with our fellow educators as well. Yeah, so it's very nice. It's very warm. The welcome was very warm. It's very energetic as well. Very spirited. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Kami beralih dulu teman anak muda ke Mem Dewi. Kita tahu Mem kalau Singapura ini sangat kuat, sangat maju soal teknologi ya Mem. How do you see this big potential from this visiting?
Iya. Jadi teman anak muda pertama memang kaget juga. Lah ini kita kedatangan tamu dari Tamasek Politeknik Singapura datang berkunjung ke Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan gitu ya, dan kita tahu bahwa dari from Singapore is a very famous in technology. Jadi kita pikir tadi mau ke Fikti gitu ya, mau ke Fikti mau melihat gitu ya tentang teknologi in UMSU. Tadi surprisingly they would like to come to FKIP Education Faculty. Ternyata mereka mau sharing ya tentang culture-nya. Nah,
and very full of culture,
and in Medan full of culture, and also in Faculty of Education, Fakultas Keguruan itu juga kita itu tadi menggunakan salah satu local wisdom kebudayaan dalam pendekatan pengajaran bagi siswa-siswa. Jadi, nah di situ nih yang mereka sangat tertarik. Nah, jadi ternyata mereka sangat antusias melihat budaya-budaya, dan bahkan tadi juga ada beberapa yang sama ya, karena kan di Singapura juga tadi kebanyakan kebudayaan itu berasal dari kebudayaan Melayu. Jadi ada beberapa several things yang budayanya itu hampir sama dengan yang ada di kita tadi. Itu dia.
Maybe Maya, Nico, or I'm sorry, I forget. Maisara can explain or can mention the similar things between Tamasek and UMSU from the student maybe, or the faculty.
Okay, one of the similarities is the different schools, how they are separated. Tadi di luar kita jalan ada banyak-banyak sekolah kan. What faculties or IIT, engineering, medicine, it's separated. Same like Tamasek Politeknik as well. Our schools are separated by the different categories like School of Humanities or what else we have? School of IIT, School of Engineering. Yes. So that's one of the similarities. What about you?
Another similarity, I would think mine is a bit different. Mine is about like the students' energy. I think like the moment I was gonna mention earlier that when we arrived at the university, like the students were so welcoming, and like we were exchanging something in common, which we were all talking about like the TikTok trends, like the velocity.
I think every country will do.
Velocity. So I think that's something that we have in common, like the cultural mind, like the interest that we have, as like youths. So I think that's very interesting. Yeah, nice to film the videos together.
Maybe after this talk show we can
Yeah.
we can also make it.
Yeah.
How about you, Sarah?
For me, I think I agree with Nicole. The student culture here is quite similar to Tamasek Poly, to the student culture in Singapore. You can see like like people are just walking around, walking around and sitting, eating food. It's not just a school. Like you can tell that it's not just a school. They treat this as a place where they can seek comfort in. Also, like very
It's very bonded.
yeah, very bonded.
Yes.
If you just now I walked past School of Business, if I'm not wrong.
Economic
Economic and business. I saw there was a lounge area, like for the students to just sit around and do their work, like their workstation. That's kind of similar to how we are in Tamasek Poly. We have many student lounges for us students to just hang around, do our work, just get our mind off things. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I will move to the Sir Zulkarnain. Sir, we know that we are at the same region, Southeast Asia.
Yep.
So how do you see the role of the Southeast Asia university like Tamasek and UMSU in shaping future graduates, future-ready graduates?
I think first things first, it's important to set the context.
Okay.
We are in a world where things are very volatile, and sometimes we are all aware about the Trump tariffs and how it's very uncertain,
Yes.
right? And so when it's uncertain, all the more we need to be able to work with many different people, and we are in the same region. So whatever happens to Singapore or whatever happens to Indonesia or whatever happens to any of the Southeast Asian countries, kita semua akan terkena juga. Kan the effect can be felt by us. So that is where more collaboration is definitely needed. We have to learn from each other's strengths, right? And then we have to also learn from each other's areas for improvement. Yeah, and then we work together. Different countries have different strengths. So, for example, Indonesia, the strength of Indonesia is Bhinneka Tunggal Ika.
Yes.
It's there's the unity in diversity,
unity.
right? And they have many cultures, and they have a lot of strengths there that we can actually from Singapore we can learn, right? And like what Ma'am actually mentioned earlier, right? In Singapore, yes, we do have our technologies, and that is something that we can also share, and we can also learn from each other in terms of, because at the end of the day, the whole point of education is to build fellow human beings, is to build what we call modal insan, human capital, and that human capital is supposed to help us to enrich our communities, enrich our nations, right? And so that we can prosper and progress in the world that we are in today. Yeah, so more cooperation is definitely good. More exchange is definitely good. And we can always learn from each other. Yeah, and I think that's important.
Okay.
Yeah.
About the collaboration, Ma'am, potensi kerjasama seperti apa yang akan dijalin ke depannya bersama Tamasek Politeknik ini?
Iya, mudah-mudahan setelah ini nanti ada kerjasama yang bisa dibangun, collaboration between two universities, two campus. Kemudian kita bisa melakukan KKN internasional, community service based, and also exchange student in teaching. Exchange student
lecture maybe.
Itu nanti bisa kita visiting lecturer, visiting lecturer. Nah itu juga bisa kita memberikan pengajaran nanti ke Tamasek, dan Tamasek juga sebaliknya juga bisa kolaborasi dalam penelitian dan pengabdian.
Sejauh mana, kalau dari sisi fakultas, sejauh mana dukungan fakultas untuk menjadikan kerjasama internasional ini menjadi bagian dari strategi pengembangan?
Ya, alhamdulillah Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan itu kita memang membangun kuat untuk internasionalisasi program, karena ini memang salah satu juga yang dibutuhkan dalam komponen akreditasi untuk mencapai unggul, dan kita ketahui bahwa FQ juga sudah 5 program studinya terakreditasi unggul. Nah itu juga karena akibat ada program kerjasama internasional. Nah ini juga tentunya menambah lagi nih gitu ya, menambah lagi MOU kita kepada Tamasek Politeknik Singapura untuk melakukan kerjasama di bidang internasionalisasi tadi, tidak hanya dalam sisi mahasiswa tapi juga dalam bentuk kegiatan para dosen untuk pertukarannya tadi, juga untuk visiting lecturers-nya. Jadi both side juga kita bisa dapat from the student and also from the lecturer.
Yeah.
Student and lecturer. Okay, maybe the last question for Mr. Zulkarnain. How do you see and what makes UNSU become a strategic partner for Tamasek?
I think one area that we don't really explore much is our regional partners, and so that is something that we can definitely explore in terms of, for example, like what I mentioned earlier, how the strengths that Indonesia has to bring, right, in terms of what the educators do, for example, to relate to the students that they are teaching, right? They use kebudayaan. What was it again, ma'am?
Culture.
Culture.
Responsive cultural teaching.
Responsive cultural teaching.
Yes.
And so, I mean, Singapore also is a multicultural nation. Yeah, we have many different cultures in Singapore, and that is also an area that I'm sure we are already doing it. And so it's nice if you can share with each other, and then we can see, what we can improve on, and especially now. Just now, I think Nicole shared about how students are already, all of them are exposed to TikTok,
Yes.
right? So there are many similarities now, regardless of where the students
Yes.
are. They can be in Singapore, Malaysia, or Indonesia, but all of them are exposed to social media, right? So, those are some areas where we can learn from each other on, how do you, people in Indonesia or institutions in UMSU in Indonesia, how do you develop certain skills so that your teachers can be relatable to your students, right? And what Tamasek Polytechnic does as well, and to be, and then we learn from each other on pedagogy, on curriculum, on assessments, and these are the areas that we can definitely look at. Yeah, and also because we all have certain cultural similarities as well, right? And that's also something worth exploring. Yeah, so the strength there is that we are all Southeast Asian nations. We are all a part of ASEAN.
Yes.
Right? And because of our proximity, and because of we have similarities in culture, it makes it more relatable. Yeah, and there's value in that as well. And we know that ASEAN is not just one group of Asians, but it's actually people with different strengths, different cultures, different backgrounds to contribute to the whole education fraternity. Yeah, and moga-moga it will be something that mendunia gitu. Kan? We have an education system, an approach to education that's not always from US, UK, not always Eurocentric, right? Because the way we teach, the values that we bring to education is different compared to. I mean, of course we can learn. I'm not saying that we shouldn't learn from US, from UK, and from from Europe, from the West. But we have our strengths as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's something that we should develop. Yeah. So
Soalnya juga bagus banget ya kan. Okay, maybe the last for my friend, what message would you like to leave for UMSU, especially for the student here? But don't leave the memory here. Yes, maybe from Maya.
Let us think first.
Okay.
As you go.
Yes.
Saya cuma nak cakap, susah dulu, senang kemudian.
Okay, bersenang-senang dahulu bersenang.
Ya, jadi kita belajar dulu sungguh-sungguh. Lepas kita dah keluar university, we can explore more options.
Okay.
And we can, we can do this.
Okay, how about you, Nico?
I think like similar to what
Yes.
Sarah has mentioned, exploring different avenues maybe in the future where we can maybe collaborate more. Like I think what everyone has mentioned, like experiencing the student life is something very individual, and like it differs for everyone. So I think that coming here today and witnessing the culture here and the way that the university the way they function and everything is something very unique in its own, something very different from Singapore. So I think maybe in the future or whatever it may bring, maybe next time we can explore coming to Singapore as well, or like experiencing the different culture, learning from each other. I think the message here is that being open-minded and like really learning from each other and appreciating the differences and what everyone can offer to each other. I think that's very
Okay.
unique. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so I wrap it up. My message would be to continue to love learning. I think that there are many benefits from learning from each other, learning from the different countries around you. Earlier, we mentioned about exchange programs, all this. So I think most importantly, the students should take note that it's important to continue to love learning and benefit from one another in all sorts of different ways. So yeah, that's all that I have.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much, guys, for this visiting. Semoga nanti kerjasama ini, kolaborasi ini bisa membawa banyak positif ke Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Utara, especially untuk Fakultas Ilmu Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan, untuk Tamasek Politeknik juga. Dan teman anak muda, thank you so much for watching this YouTube channel. If you want to rewatch, you can visit our YouTube channel UMSU FM Medan. Bye bye.
Terima kasih.
Okay, maybe we can take a picture.
Terima kasih. Thank you. Ini video presentasi ya.
Oh.
Foto.